All right, guys, we're back here again with another 2024 season preview for High Limit Racing. Today we're going to be talking about Cory Eliason. He is driving the Origin Sun Racing number 8 car in 2024. The crew chief on the car is the very well-known Tyler Swank. Cory is 32 years old heading into this season coming up. Now, we'll jump straight into it. In 2019, Cory Eliason was a full-time All-Star for the first time in his career. That year, taking over the Rudine number 26 for Joey Saldana. Before that, he was in the Roth Motorsports car, ran almost a full season with the Outlaws, but not quite, so didn't want to put that on the board as he did miss quite a few races in 2018. But 2019 with the All-Stars, he had 44 A-main appearances and 45 starts. 2 wins along the way to go with along with 15 top 5s and 32 top 10s. It was a pretty darn good year for the first time being a full-time driver with a pretty big touring series. 69 laps led, that's pretty nice, and a third place points result there in year number 1. Now in year number 2, obviously looking for bigger and better things, and they do find them. 48 starts and 48 appearances, did not miss a main event all season long. He bumped up to 3 victories, bumped up to 23 top 5 finishes, and once again had 32 top 10s, but 113 laps led and second in the points that season. 2020, I believe, second in points. He finished second to Tyler Courtney, I'm pretty sure. 2021, the All-Stars, once again, he runs them and he makes all 53 A-main events again. So for 2 seasons in a row, does not miss a single feature. But then he bumps down to 2 victories. Obviously, 2 and 3, not much of a big difference there. But a big difference as far as goes the top 5 finishes. 16 top 5 finishes in 2021 compared to 23 in 2020, but he does gain 3 more top 10 finishes to go up to 35. Still 134 laps led. That's the most he's ever led in his All-Star career in one season, and once again finished up second in points in 2021. Now, I forgot to put it on here. I kind of wrote it in late here. In 2022, he does return to the All-Stars and tries to run that series again. But in the first 27 races, he had 15 finishes outside of the top 10, and that was when he ended up losing that 26 car, the Rudine Racing car, to Zeb Wise. And then for the rest of 2021, or 2022, I should say, he was running some different cars. This last year in 2023, he ran the 11 car for Crouch Motorsports, Indy Race Parts 71, and then he was able to finish the last couple of races of the year with this Origin Sun Racing number 8 car. But I didn't put 2022 on here because it was kind of a weird year for Cory, trying to find his footing. Didn't really run too many races throughout the season. So 2023 comes around, this last season that passed by, and between the World of Outlaws, High Limit, and the All-Stars, he had 52 A-main appearances in 59 attempts. He had 2 wins. He had 12 top 5 finishes, 25 top 10s, and he had 40 laps led. He ended up finishing 3rd in the High Limit midweek point standings, so that was kind of a good deal for him. I think he split that 3rd place points finish between a couple of different cars, most of them in the Indy Race Parts number 71. Now, getting into some deeper stats here, 2019 All-Star Tour for him, he was plus 54 in feature plus minus, so he was most nights he was passing cars when it came to the A-mains. And that may have been because of his qualifying average. 9.8 doesn't sound too bad, but really when there's only maybe 6 or 7 full-time All-Stars, 9.8 probably isn't where he wanted to be at. 21 dash appearances and just 4 B-main appearances in 2019 for Cory Eliason. 2020, he went down. He was minus 18 in the plus-minus category, but his qualifying average did get much better, improving by about 2 positions, which, if you're going to start farther, forward towards the feature events, you're probably going to lose a couple spots more than gain them throughout a year. Dash appearances jumped up to 34. He gained 13 dash appearances from 2019 to 2020, and there was only 3 more races that year ran. LCS, B-main appearances, only had 2 of them that year, so nearly avoided the B-main at all costs in 2020. 2021, he was just minus 12 in the feature events, so not too bad there. Qualifying average of 9.3, so it dropped back down from that 7.9. He had 32 dash appearances, down from 34 the year previous, and then he went back up to 4 B-main appearances in 2021. Now, big wins in Cory Eliason's career. He does have 2 World of Outlaws wins, both of those coming in 2018, so it's been a very long time since Cory Eliason won with the All-Stars, with the Outlaws, I should say. Both of them in 2018 in California at Stockton and at Calistoga. 2019, he won the Greg Hodnett Foundation race. That was at BAPS. 2020, he won a Tuscarora 50 prelim night. He also won the All-Star race at Houston's for the grand reopening of that track after being, kind of in the dark for, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 years. He was able to win that first race back at Houston's in 2020. He won the Kramer Clash at Lincoln in 2021, the Gene Lynch Classic at East Bay in 2023. And he's got a couple more wins along the way as well. He's got obviously 2 Outlaw wins and 10 All-Star wins to his name, and a bunch of wins in California with the King of the West Series, along with the Sprint Car Challenge Tour. But kind of focusing on the more, Central PA All-Star Outlaw wins when it comes to this section here. Now, SprintCarRatings.com has Cory Eliason as the 23rd best driver overall in 410 Sprint Car racing over the last 2 years. In those 2 years, he has 5 victories to his credit, 3 last year and 2 the year previous. Actually, maybe that was wrong. I think it was actually 2 this year and 3 the year before. Now, in that 23rd overall, there are 7 drivers at this point in time. We are recording this with 13 full-time high-limit drivers, and there are 7 of them that are in front of Cory Eliason on the SprintCarRatings.com list. So he does have some work to do when it comes to that. He's going to be racing against drivers week in and week out that have been performing better than him over the last 2 seasons. Now let's jump into the strengths department. I believe that Cory Eliason is highly motivated, and he is very hungry to show that he still has what it takes to compete at a super high level. And we saw that last year. I mean, he was still able to get some wins between, he got 2 All-Star wins last year, 3rd in high limit points. We know that he can get the job done, but the problem right now for him is trying to find that stable ride. I mean, it was a shock to the world when he lost the Rudine Racing 26 ride, and I think there were kind of some internal things going on there between him and the team as well. They just weren't really clicking anymore, and it was a big struggle for him when that all happened. But it was still a huge surprise to the sprint car world when he was not in that car anymore. And then he gets the Crouch Motorsports 11 car. Seems like everything is going well. It's a good fit. They have a couple good runs here and there. But then he loses that ride as well. And now here he is in this Ridge & Sun Racing number 8 car. And right now, I think that he's just looking to not be under a microscope. He wants to feel like he is safe in that car. He's not worried about, if I run 12th tonight, am I going to get fired tomorrow? And this is where I kind of went back to the Justin Peck thing. I feel like Justin Peck is very, very solid. He feels good about where he's at in that 13 car, not worried about losing his ride. Cory Eliason needs something like that. He needs to not be worried about what is going to happen next week, right? And maybe this is the place to do it. Also, him and Tyler Swank, they know what it takes to get it done at a very high level of racing. Obviously, Cory ran 3 years on the All-Star Tour with a very good team. Tyler Swank has several years on the World of Outlaws Tour with several different drivers and a lot of success along the way. So that pairing together could be dangerous here if they can figure it out quickly. The problem is, that's where I get to the weakness department. Brand new pairing between the car, the driver, and the crew chief. Now, how long will it take for them to get going? That will be the question that everybody is looking to see answered in 2024 with this team. They do have 6 races under their belt together before they head into next season. They ran at the World Finals with the World of Outlaws. They made all 3 features. 15th, 18th, and 20th were the finishes. Obviously not very good finishes, but they were able to make the feature every night, which is pretty impressive because World Finals is one of the toughest fields all year long in sprint car racing. Now, they also ran with the PowerEye Series down in the Oklahoma area. It was both him and Aaron Wright, so the 2 cars for Ridge & Sun Racing. He was 2nd, 3rd, and 2nd in those 3 races. Obviously, the competition not quite where it was at here when it comes to World Finals, but still showing that they can get the job done here with a 2nd, 3rd, and a 2nd 3 podium finishes in just their 4th, 5th, and 6th start together. So that may be a little bit of momentum heading into the next year, and we'll see if they can keep that going. Now, let's jump into the prediction side of things. I think that Cory Eliason is going to be somewhere between 8th and 9th in points, and between 1 to 3 wins. I feel like I have the prediction a little bit low for this team just because of this weakness department. Now, who knows? They could jump right in, and it could be working right off the bat, and he could be doing very, very well. The first race of the year is at East Bay, and Cory Eliason did win just last year with the All-Stars at East Bay. So who knows? Maybe they'll jump out of the gate swinging, but right now I'll have them at 8th to 9th in points and 1 to 3 wins. And this 8th to 9th in points kind of comes back to the SprintCarRatings.com thing over here, where 7 high-limit drivers over the last 2 years have been in front of him. And from the sounds of it, there are going to be some other drivers jumping on board with high limit that could potentially jump in front of him in the point standing. So I don't see him, battling for a charter position, but maybe they get this year under their belt. They get a lot of notes put together. They come back in 2025 and they can compete for one of those charter positions. But basically all this just kind of depends on how quick they can click together. And that being Tyler Swank and Cory Eliason. I have these numbers low, but if they can get going, I could definitely see those numbers improving quite a bit. And I think he's going to be dangerous when it comes to California. Cory Eliason hasn't raced in California very much over the last couple of years. If you're not familiar, that is where he's from. Ran with King of the West, Sprint Car Challenge Tour. He's got a lot of wins in that area between those two series. And High Limit has quite a few races out there. So maybe that could be a place where Cory Eliason gets one of these 1 to 3 wins along the way this season with High Limit Racing. So what do you think Cory Eliason and Ridge and Sun Racing are going to do in 2024? Let me know down in the comments section below. Where are they going to get in points? How many wins will they get? I want to hear your thoughts. We'll see you guys in the next one.